Hey everybody, it's Matt Mayoko at NBC Sports Bay Area, just checking in with a video update for Wednesday. 49ers on the practice field today, getting prepared to face the Miami Dolphins. On this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about the offseason and what is kind of like, I don't know, necessarily dawned on me, but maybe reinforced in me what might be the 49ers' biggest offseason priority. Now, we've talked in the past about Deebo Samuel. Team will have to make a decision there. Javon Hargrave will be released early in the offseason, if not like right before the start of the new league year. 49ers do want to re-sign him, but those are situations that'll play out. Of course, there's the Brock Purdy situation. He will get paid. He will be the 49ers long-term starting quarterback. So I don't necessarily see that as a huge decision. That's more just a negotiating thing because Brock Purdy's not going anywhere. But what really came to light in the first half of that game, a week, was that week 15, against the uh, Rams, was just the importance of one player that we hadn't seen in 10 months. Hey, if you're new to this channel, please subscribe, comment, like, whatever. And this video is brought to you by Canyon Club Brewery, located in Moraga, California. It's right down the street from where I live. And it's a brewery that has a lot of different styles of beer to satisfy your needs there. Also, a wide variety of menu items, tasty bites. It's a great place to hang out. Off the beaten path a little bit in Moraga, but if you're ever out there, check out Canyon Club Brewery. And it's also coming soon to the Livery in Danville, right off of 680. So I know that on my commute from where I live to Santa Clara and back, that will certainly be a stop for me on my way home. Okay, so what kind of struck me, think about this offseason for the 49ers. They do have several starters who are eligible for unrestricted free agency. Offensively, Aaron Banks at left guard, safety Talanoa Hufanga, cornerback Charvarius Ward. And I think by and large, the 49ers have replacements for those players. And Hufanga is kind of an interesting one because, man, he stepped off the injured list and basically right back into the starting lineup, taking Jair Brown's spot. So, it'd be interesting to see what his market is as an unrestricted free agent. I don't think there's any question in my mind the 49ers would like to re-sign him. The question is at what price, what cost, and then if other teams are out there. But, they basically have starter for Charvarius Ward with Renardo Green. I could see them, starting next season with Jair Brown and Malik Mustafa at safety, and then at left guard. I would think that Aaron Banks will get a lot of attention on the free agent market just because starting offensive linemen always get a lot of attention on the free agent market. So I don't know that the 49ers will make a huge play to re-sign him. So they'll find a new starter there. But the one guy that it really kind of came into focus of just how important he is to this defense and to the mindset of the team. And that's Dre Greenlaw. And that's why I think that he is really the 49ers' number one priority in this offseason as far as the free agent market. And, everybody knows, he's had the injuries, torn Achilles, kind of bounding off of the sideline in the first half of the Super Bowl. And he vowed to not step back on the field until he was ready. And last Thursday night against the Rams, he declared that he was ready. And he played 30 snaps in that game and looked every bit like the Dre Greenlaw who we last saw kind of dominating the action a little bit in the first half of that Super Bowl. But he felt some strangeness in his knee, the same side of the leg where he had the Achilles surgery. And, basically just as a precaution, he didn't play at all, just two snaps in the second half. He was out there on the practice field on Monday. So that's a very good sign for him continuing to play this season. But, the 49ers do have sole negotiating rights with him until mid-March. That's when the new league year starts. I think the 49ers would be wise to try to get something worked out now to just kind of reduce the risk of him playing in these final three games of the regular season because he's going to want to be out there a lot. I think something can get done. And then if you look around the league, how many teams are going to be interested in Dre Greenlaw coming off the Achilles and some uncertainty about just his health? I would think maybe the Houston Texans, just because D'Amico Ryans. But I'm not sure that they would be willing to go out there. They already have Aziz Shire. So, would they make a big play for Dre Greenlaw? I look at the Miami Dolphins because Mike McDaniel knows Dre Greenlaw and knows that kind of, I use these words, the energy, the passion, the aggression, that those are three things that he really brings to the table for any team that would get him. And I would think that he would be more valuable to the 49ers or people who really know him than maybe to other teams just watching the film and also considering the the history of injuries, especially the recent history of injuries. So that's why, I mean, in talking to some of the guys in the locker room on Monday, such as Nick Bosa, I mean, he declared right away, got to get Dre locked in for next season. Bosa likes the way this defense is trending. Diamador Lenore also said that. Diamador Lenore said that he felt like the 49ers really have kind of shown their identity or established their identity on defense here recently. And he pointed to that game against the Rams. Remember, this was a Rams team that scored 44 points against the Buffalo Bills on a Sunday. And then 4 days later, on a Thursday, could not even get into the end zone against the 49ers. And now, of course, Greenlaw wasn't out there for the second half of that game. But in the first half, basically played 30 snaps in this game, had 8 tackles. But one of the things that Lenore said was just what it was like to have Dre Greenlaw back out there on the field. Amazing, he said. I'm praying we resign him back. Got to get our dog back. He looked well worth it. And of course, the question is, what is he worth? I remember early in the 2022 season, the 49ers signed him to a 2-year contract extension that paid him about $8 million per year. Is he going to be up that high? I don't think so, just because of the risk that any team would be taking on if they sign him. Also, would he get a multi-year contract or would it be a 1-year deal? So he's 27 years old right now, obviously be 28 when next season begins. But, of all the guys, all the 49ers stuff that's out there as far as what John Lynch has to figure out, what that personnel department has to figure out, offseason, who are they going to try to re-sign at what price? What free agents out there are they going to go after? I can't imagine them going after a big name guy, a big money guy from outside the building. So it's basically, who are they going to try to re-sign? Which kind of, maybe bargain level guys. Although, I'm thinking back to last season, two of their signings were on the defensive line. Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos, two guys that have gotten steadily better this season, and both of those guys were signed to 2-year contracts, so both figure to be with the team in 2025. But can they get a guy that maybe in the second wave of free agency they look at as, that's a potential starter, say at left guard, who's going to be less expensive than Aaron Banks, or are they going to use a draft pick in a first or second day draft pick on an offensive lineman who could step in and start, defensive lineman who could start or fit into that rotation? So those are the things that the 49ers will have to consider, as well as what they do at that inside linebacker spot. I think they'd like to see, as I mentioned yesterday, they'd like to see D. Winters play well to end this season. But that would be more, I would think, as, the third linebacker or as a depth piece. They drafted Tatum Bethune last year. What's his role going to be? Probably special teamer, depth piece. But with Dre Greenlaw, that really appears to be, if you kind of take the pulse of the locker room, the return of Dre Greenlaw is something that everybody in that locker room wants to see, and they think that that could be really something that sets the tone for next year, because that's what he does. He's a tone setter just with his style of play, and it just really dawned on me. I mean, we all knew how important he was to that team, but seeing the team for 13 games without him and then seeing him for half of one game with him, I think we all can see just how important he is to the 49ers now and maybe even, or certainly in the past and now, and then the locker room wants to believe into the future as well. All right, thanks for watching this video, and that is it for now.